What's shaking, YouTubeites? Welcome into the Cover Price Shakers of the Week. I cannot make this up. I was in Pilates today doing my workout and this song came on. I'm like, this is a sign, right? Like I have to play this tonight. So while you all are congregating.
1, 2, ready.
Heard that on my reformer in class today. I'm like, I have to play it. Guys, welcome in. This is the Cover Price Shakers of the Week. We got the full crew here tonight, which is such a cool thing. I like having all the guys.
Yeah.
Let's do a quick round table. Marty, say what's up.
What's up, everybody? What's up, YouTubeites? And welcome for another show here. We got an interesting list here, and so seeing this list tells me, man, there's some those aftermarket guys. I don't know what's going on out there. It's just kind of up and down, man. It's like they're selling this, they're selling that, they're buying this, they're buying that. So it's kind of like all over the place. But hey, they're obviously going for some of these you'll find for, I'm sure, news coming up or news that's been had, or you might find something in here as far as just nice covers people want to collect based off the the artist, what have you. But nevertheless, thanks for joining us. As always,
Marty,
we hope for a great show.
Look who we have.
Gabe!
We got Gabe.
Gabe! Yo! Comic book lovers, welcome, Gabe. Come on in, man.
Never in our Thursday show. What's up, Gabe? Chris, say what's good.
Hey, it's Thursday. You know what that means. It is time to see where your collection racks and stacks against the hottest shakers of the week, brought to you by Cover Price. I'm happy to be here. It's been a long week. I need to talk about geek stuff. Lando, what you got?
Not much. ¿Qué pasó, homies? Guys, it's Thursday. I say it every week. It's my favorite day of the week simply because I get to hang with you three. But most importantly, that awesome chat I see right there. I see you guys.
Yeah.
We have a lot of books to talk about tonight. Some interesting books. And I'm ready. Laura, are you ready?
We're just joining. This is the Cover Price Shakers. This list comes from our friends at Cover Price, focusing on new high sales or the most interesting sales found on their exclusive daily shaker list. The list changes several times every day, so make sure to check it out to review some of the hottest trending books. Not like any real rhyme or reason here other than that. Chris, kick us off.
Shaker number 1. Hey, before I get started, I just want to give a shout out to Aiden and Connor, some young kids who apparently watch the show and are local to yours truly. So, hey, Aiden, hey, Connor, how's it going, guys?
Aiden, Connor.
So, Shaker number 1, let's get on it. Avengers Assemble number 1 by the awesome Scotty Young, by Marvel back in 2013. This is a black and white 1 in 75 variant. As one of, if not the biggest cover artists of the last decade or so, Scotty Young has generated a following that rivals some of the biggest names in comics. Since one of his earliest variant covers for Marvel's Wonderful Wizard of Oz, Young has developed a unique style that makes his work immediately recognizable. One of his most popular themes are the baby variants, and they have become highly sought after on the aftermarket after the first Scotty Young baby cover made its way onto the shelves back in 2012. It was issue number 1 of Avengers vs. X-Men. As with most themed covers, once they start to catch on, they become increasingly hard to get a hold of as completionists grapple over copies to complete their runs. This week, in its first aftermarket sale recorded in cover price databases, one of Young's more notable baby variants hit a staggering number. It's a rare book, and it's sold for a lot of money. $1,800 for a graded CGC 8.0 of Avengers Assemble #1, black and white baby variant. This is something to sit up and make noise about. It's the first time that we have seen this sale on the aftermarket, and boy, oh boy, is it a hot number. This 1 in 75 ratio currently only has 5 total copies registered in the CGC census, with this 8.0 being the lowest grade of the 5. Despite that low grade, $1,800. The 1 in 75 ratio is scarce, and the popularity of Young's work amongst collectors set the table for extremely solid sale numbers for owners of this book. With the 8.0 being the lowest graded copy on the census, expect those big old dollar signs in baby Uncle Scrooge's eyeballs if you ever see a 9.8 go on sale on the aftermarket. If you're a collector, it might be worth a shot to take a look in the Scotty box the next time you're at a convention and dig in those long boxes. You just might find a baby gem.
I'm flabbergasted. This is incredible. I would never in a million years think an 8.0 would go for this much. What do you guys think?
Yeah, this is
8.0.
incredible.
Just 8.0 at 1800. Yeah, just like the Reed said, love to see what a 9.8 would go for at this, you know? Interesting. This is, I mean, wow, 1 in 75 ratio here. You know, more than the Reed also stated about Scotty Young's, you know, unique specific style, especially the baby heroes and stuff, you know, but he also does a very different style too, like we've seen on many books that I believe Laura, you know it very well. I forgot
Guardians
what was
did a really good Middle West.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. So he has that unique style, what we see right here with the baby Avengers, but then he also has that other style too that, you know, sort of, I wouldn't say replicates this at all, but also it's very much different, but his unique style to that touch.
Yeah. Guys, what's that saying? How does it go again? In modern comics, 9/8 or bust. Get out of here. Look at that. CGC 8.0, $1,800. This book is a ghost. Nobody was ordering 75 copies of it. Avengers Assemble. You just heard Dr. Yo-Yo say 5 in total on the CGC census. There's no 9/8s in existence. There's one 9/6. So just to give you guys an idea as to why this sold for so high, scarcity, baby, scarcity.
Lando, do me a favor, turn up your mic, and then also ask me or answer me this. Do you think this will make all the Scotty Young variants go up?
No.
You're still low.
No.
There we go. No, just this one in particular, right?
It's just this one because it's a
rarity. I disagree. This is clearly one of those macho men. Ooh, the cream rises. You gotta get that good stuff. It's gonna raise the a high tide raises all ships. Rare Scotty Young variants is where it's at. Ooh yeah.
Yeah, but that's not all ships. There's so many Scotty Young variants that are worth like cover price or under. So I think it'll raise the ones that we are looking at, like Pride and Prejudice. If anybody out there has one, I want it. But again, the Guardians one we're talking about, there's certain early Scotty Young stuff that I think would rise with this. But other than that, like what will be the main effect unless you have this? Somebody was asking. That's the only reason I'm talking about it.
Personally, you hear me good now? We're good?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're better.
Much better.
Okay, good. What I was going to say is I think this right here in a CGC 8.0 at 1800, given how low the grade is and how high the price is, I think this is considered one of the bigger sales, Scotty Young related. Because this and a 9/8, I'm very curious to see what that would go for. The 9/6 ever come for sale? I would imagine it goes way more than double. So
yeah. I'm going to have to agree with Lando. I'm going to have to agree with Lando as far as any other Scotty Young books going up because of this. I think this is more isolated because there's so many Scotty Young baby variants out there that are so much better than this. This just the rarity of this book is what's causing it to go.
Look at Nick Fury in the background. He's like, ooh, ooh. It's so good. I dig it. I like Scotty Young's work. I got a bunch of his stuff on my wall. I'm happy to see this going for money. I think that Scotty Young is one of those artists that a lot of people love him or hate him, right? I'm in the love camp. He's a really nice guy. I've met him and I've shared that story before, but 1 in 75, hard to find book. It's an all white cover, hard to get a good grade. And this is early on in 2013 when nobody was really looking for the Scotty Young covers. So I get it.
1 in 75, like that's super rare. This is like a diamond in the rough if you own one. Hey, Seth, if you're out there and you really do have one of these, post it and tag Cover Price so we can see.
That's right. Yeah.
We want to
see it on Instagram. We want proof of life.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right. So shaker number 1, we have Avengers Assemble number 1, the Scotty Young Marvel Babies black and white 1 in 75 ratio from Marvel back in 2013. A CGC 8.0, like Lando said, not a 9.8, an 8.0, coming in at $1,800.
Dig it!
All right. Lando, what do we have next?
Well, up next, we have Death Force number 2 by Paul Green in 2016. It was San Diego Comic-Con cosplay variant right here, and my oh my, it is extra nice. Anyways, Zenescope is the publisher, and artist Paul Green has built up a cult following for his pin-up-inspired artwork across several Zenescope comics, Kickstarter projects, and other indie titles like Flash Gordon, Lady Death, and Starship Troopers. With a style similar to fellow Zenescope artist John Royce and reigning king of pinup J. Scott Campbell, Green's covers have become under-the-radar favorites among collectors. As a Zenescope regular, Green created this variant cover specifically for the 2016 San Diego Comic-Con with a Star Wars/Mandalorian-inspired cosplay variant for Death Force. Up until recently, sales of this book in raw condition have been rare, with the last near-mint copy being sold more than 6 months ago for $30. Conversely, several graded copies, 9.6 and 9.4s, have been sold for under $40 in the last month. The last 9.8 graded copies of the book sold in 2021 for $125. But it looks like those numbers may be history, as a near mint raw candidate of this Paul Green cover sold for 150 bananas this week. Yes, 150. It's a neat cover. Very nice. It's probably one of his best covers. But besides the point, I think I could see the comparison with J. Scott Campbell. Would you pay 150 for this, guys?
Well, here's the thing too. If you know anything about Paul Green, he does a lot of covers for Zenescope, and a lot of his covers, if you don't either pre-order it or order it right away, then you're out of luck. His covers sell out so fast, okay? And then a lot of his other works, especially his cosplay covers, and he does even like the serial covers in female rendition as well. So he does a lot for that, and his stuff really sells out very quickly. As you can see, why he does very beautiful work here. And
the breast covers, I heard it too, but I wasn't going to say anything. I was like, "Did he say about the breast?"
I caught that. I
did. But for those of you who do follow, you know, this is something I say all the time when there is such a cover. It's breast covers. They are. It's one of the breasts.
It's one of the breasts. Yeah, I like that. Well said.
So similar to Campbell. Like to an untrained eye, the eye is not a little bit pointier and the nose a little bit sharper, and you'd be like, okay, that's Campbell. Like this is so similar.
It is. The similarities are there. The only difference, Laura, I'm curious to know what you think here, because you did say something about J. Scott Campbell art.
Yeah.
In particular, the face.
So this wasn't me. I'm on another show with another panel, and one of the panelists say that Campbell has very mousy looking faces. That's how you kind of decide if it's Campbell or not. If it looks like a mouse. This one's prettier. Sorry.
I have to disagree with the whole this being like the J. Scott camel, because I
What do you
can't
mean?
I know the difference. I can look at a J. Scott and see the difference between that and a Paul Green, you know.
I
So
literally can't. How do you tell other than the eyes?
his style of art. I know there you think there's a similarity, but
I'll
his style is
tell
totally
you how you
different.
can tell right away. One's on a legitimate book and one's not. Sorry,
Fair,
shots
fair.
fired.
Dang. All
Fair.
right.
Shots fired, but this is one of
Wow.
those. This is one of
Yeah,
those.
what? Yeah,
This is a
but-
Mandalorian, but it's not a Mandalorian because we can't say it's a Mandalorian. So it's a pretty girl trying to be a Mandalorian. It's got nothing to do with the story. I'm looking at the other variant covers for Death Force. Yeah, it's got some good artists on there, but these are booby books. They're booby books. Okay, they're being sold for the covers because it's got a pretty girl on the cover. And I don't know. I just think that we deserve more substance than that. Personal opinion.
Guys,
Mm.
you're thinking it. Chris is saying it. That's the reality. I'm just gonna put it out there.
I completely disagree. I think that these booby books are fun. They add some.
Guys,
What?
there's an amazing market for such though.
oh God,
there-
yeah.
Look, it's safe to say in 2024, there's a lot of us who purchase comics based on the cover alone. Majority of people don't even open the books. Let's be honest. So yeah, I agree, Laura. These covers very appealing. There is a collector who would be interested in such. I picked these up. I like them.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll pick them up too.
And,
Well,
and, you
but
know,
there-
no judgment to anybody who picks them up.
You know,
It's
that-
what it's not something that I look for, and I feel that this art on this book cheapens the Mandalorian property. You know what I mean? I don't know. It doesn't fit. Just like some of the other covers that have like Spider-Man outfits or Baroness from G.I. Joe, and there's a Stormtrooper one as well. And yeah, okay, I get it. It's like cosplay covers. I understand, but it's not the property. This isn't the Star Wars property. And maybe I'm just being a two-bit, tense on this kind of thing, but this kind of cover is to me what foil covers are to Gabe.
Chris hates sexy. Got it.
No, Liger,
Chris
no.
hates boobs.
I mean,
Chris
and
can't hate himself.
that's interesting. That's interesting to hear, though, honestly. And you're, of course, that's your opinion. That's why we're here, right? To talk about our opinions and stuff. And but I'm gonna have to go on Laura's side on this one, and Lando's. I agree with this. There's a niche of collectors for this type of cover. The sexy J. Scott Campbell's and all those beautiful artworks. So I definitely think that this is a fairly good price.
That's the one right there.
Yeah. Yo, Derek, man, always killing it, Derek. I love it.
Good, thank you, Derek.
Gabe, I'm this close to sending you the link, so don't keep commenting or I'm making you get on the show. I miss you. All right, Shakers. Death Force number 2, Paul Green, 2016, San Diego Comic-Con cosplay variant from Zenescope is how I pronounce it. 2016. A raw coming in at $150. That's nothing to snuff at. So,
Yeah.
Marty,
Yes, ma'am.
you're up.
So number 3 shaker brings you a Gore Shriek number 4. This is by Fantaco Enterprises, published in 1988. Greg Capullo has been a fan favorite in the industry dating back to his time on Todd McFarlane's Spawn and leading up to his beloved run on Batman with Scott Snyder. Great run, by the way. As with many artists who established a fan base, Capullo's fans and collectors have begun purchasing many of his early covers and other lesser-known published works. Capullo's first published work in comics was on the Fantaco Enterprise title, Gore Shriek. The small published title was a successful horror-themed adult book with buyers. This success led to Capullo's working with Marvels on titles such as Quasar and X-Force. Issue number 4 of Gore Shriek, Capullo's first work, has seen steady price increases, but reached a new milestone this past week with a near mint raw copy that sold for $126. This sale could lead to other early works by Capullo's being sought after by collectors, as much of his early work is still very reasonably priced. Yeah, I'll be honest, I had no idea this was a Capullo's. You know, I would have never guessed. But once again,
Capullo, it's the first Capullo.
Yeah, absolutely. This is I a raw going for 126. I could see that. Absolutely. I really enjoyed Capullo's work on the Batman run. Oh man, it was with the Court of the Owl. Remember that, Laura?
Oh yeah,
that was awesome.
Oh yeah, and it's dude. You watched Penguin, so I'm not gonna say anything more for those who haven't. But
I watched it. The whole thing.
Guys, Capullo. Look, it's funny because we're talking about Capullo's first work on a comic earlier this year. Did we not talk about someone else, Alex Ross? We spoke about the Terminator book. Remember that?
Yep.
These books are great to have within your collection, especially if you're a fan of the artist. You go to cons, you would want to get this signed like at 100%.
This is awesome. This is awesome.
That's what I'm saying. Is like, I'm sure if you bring this to him, Capullo would probably be like, "Wow, this is awesome. Thank you for bringing this." You know what I mean?
Yeah. 1988, Lando, all the way from that time.
You weren't even born yet when this came out. That's crazy. Like you were in utero. You were in utero when this book came out. That's crazy.
I was still swimming upstream, but but in 1988, look, like I was saying, you bring this to Capullo, he would greatly appreciate that. Now, I had the chance. I'm not pulling a Marty reminiscing here. I had a chance to be in the same area as Capullo at Terrificon, and let me tell you guys, the lineup was huge. The Batman stuff, the Spawn stuff was there. Capullo's now with Marvel, and a lot of people have been, anticipating that. You saw the Wolverine stuff Capullo's putting out. It's great work. I love Capullo. This is a great book to have in your collection if you're a Capullo fan. Thank you, Cover Price, because now it's on my watch list.
Now it's on my watch list too. Thank you.
It's on everyone's
Exactly.
watch list. The whole chat's going nuts.
This whole series is, you should see the covers for this series. It is nuts. These covers are insane. If you like horror covers, I mean, I should have featured this entire lineup during the Halloween October Instagram thing, because man, every one of these covers are just nuts. Absolutely nuts. It's like Clive Barker turned up to 11.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Wow. Yeah. I like me some Clive Barker. Some Hellraiser any day, man.
Yeah, dude.
Love that run.
Yeah.
I'm with Marty on this.
Yeah. I saw the interiors. It's sick. Like, seriously, you should really, really check this out.
All right, well, there you go. Gore Shriek number 4 from Fantaco
Enterprises.
Thank you, Marty.
Hello, welcome to Fantaco Enterprise, 1988.
With a raw coming in at $126. What do we have next?
Shaker number 4, we got House of Mystery number 195 by DC Comics in 1971. Bernie Wrightson is a legendary artist and creator who's been featured on our Shakers list in the past. Bernie is possibly best known for his creation of Swamp Thing, which debuted in House of Secrets number 92 in 1971. Swamp Thing would then receive his own title in 72, but some of his prior work to the 72 title featured similar characters and creations that could be considered prototypes. Between the release of House of Mystery, House of Secrets, and Swamp Thing was this book, House of Mystery number 195. This book featured characters that were similar to Swamp Thing, named Moss Beings. It's interesting to have such similar framework in such short span of time, which leads the question to whether or not Bernie was planning something bigger for these creatures, and if Swamp Thing was that prototype. Was he building lore? Was he building background? This is all speculation. But either way, it is fascinating to see the similarities of these creations by the same artist in a short span of time. and actual sales. This past week, House of Mystery number 195 had an all-time high sale of $1,980 for a CGC 9.8 copy.
Damn!
This remarkable price comes just weeks after a CGC 9.4 copy sold for $400. This early Bernie Wrightson book is surely one to keep an eye out for.
Oh yeah.
Man, what a beautiful, gorgeous book right here. A 9.8 from 1971. I can imagine the beauty of this. This is right up my alley. House of Mysteries, you know. Who doesn't love these old covers as well as these old
Absolutely.
stories? You know, I remember reading my father's collections of creepy and eerie and really enjoying the stories. I mean, at the age of 10, 11, 12 years old, you know, I'm reading these dark mystery books like this and these horror books, and it's more of an adult read, but I'm enjoying them. You know, I really like them. That's how I really, this is very nostalgic for me. Let's just say.
Yeah.
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 Go ahead.
What would you say that is, Laura? Would you say that he's reminiscing?
Oh, shoot.
She
Sorry.
didn't catch it, man.
Hold on,
I even
hold on,
gave
wait,
her a
wait.
bye.
I was giving.
Sometimes we're doing these
I even
shows. I'm just listening to you guys. I'm like, oh shit, I'm hosting too. But
Yeah, and I even
I'm giving
slowed
you
it down
the
for
Scooby-Doo
her.
fingers and everything. I mean, come on.
No, but great reads, great covers, man. Such great artists on there too. I mean, you can't go wrong with a lot of these old classics here.
Yeah, dude. I think this cover is absolutely gorgeous. There's a lot of great covers that come to mind. Of course, you know, you just mentioned House of Secrets, 92. You mentioned Swamp Thing, which, Chris, don't you have at CGC?
Yeah, I have 2 Swamp Thing number 1s at CGC right now.
you have
They've been
one
there for
because
a
you're gonna
while.
be one to me, right?
Yeah, one cover I've been hunting for a little while, but it's always hard to come across. I never come across it in a good grade. Is House of Secrets 103. It's all black with the guy. I don't know if you've ever seen it, no, but it's a book that I know I could find in a good grade, but it's so difficult. But just an example of how many great covers Wrightson's come out with. It's just beautiful. I love this.
Well, you know,
193 is the one where he's in the dark and he's got his like fingers on fire, right?
Yeah, I love that cover. I gotta find it. Hold on, it pops so well.
Does it?
Yeah. So
My internet's being weird. You guys keep pausing on my end, so
Yeah, you're the one pausing on our end, Laura.
Yeah. Here, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, sick.
Ooh,
Yeah,
I
that's
love this
very
cover.
nice.
I love this.
Very nice.
So I always pick
Beautiful.
up House of Mysteries when I'm going through collections or in long boxes. Any House of Mystery I'll pick up. I don't care how old or new it is, just because so many of them are just unique stories. I always think they're like test balloons for creators because they have this 3 or 4 page short story that they can kind of test the waters with characters with, like just like this example, the write-up that Cover Price gave us on this, the moss beings that were eerily similar to Swamp Thing. That's just pretty cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right, so there we go. Shaker number 4, House of Mystery to
Bueller.
195. DC 1971. A 9.8 at 1.
Well, yeah, we're sticking with the Halloween theme somewhat, a little bit here, horror, etc. But
Beautiful.
yeah, Mark Spears Monsters, guys, Kickstarter edition number 1 by Mark Spears. It's the cover eye, Marvel 25th anniversary homage. What a year it's been for Mark Spears. But anyways, let's get into the details. What more can we say about Mark Spears, guys? His journey has captured attention since he launched his remarkable Kickstarter campaign, Monsters, earlier this year. In January, we featured this exciting project in our crowdfunding report, but little did we know, it would later experience such a phenomenal surge in popularity. The release of the regular series, perfectly timed with the Halloween season, thrust this Kickstarter into the limelight and sparked a frenzy among collectors eager to complete their collections of the captivating 8-issue series. The remarkable success of this featured book is underscored by its staggering all-time high sale of $709 for a raw copy. That's huge! This kind of support for independent creators is precisely what we hope to see grow in the ever-evolving comic book landscape. While we hold a deep appreciation for the contributions of mainstream publishers, it's evident that collectors are increasingly recognizing the value of unique and innovative projects like Monsters. This shift highlights the evolving tastes of fans and encourages involvement in ventures that offer unique rewards and potential in the realm of independent artistry. Oh, and in case you're a fan of these Marvel 25th homage covers, keep an eye out for issue 3s for Dracula, Witch, and holofoil flip covers due out at the beginning of next year, guys. I love the 25th anniversary homage. In fact, I think if you're one of those 25th anniversary collectors, you might want to try to find this one too. They're hard to get. The Care Bear one, the Ewoks one, they're not easy to come across. But Mark Spears, what a year, like I said, it's been. We even have Spawn coming out now. There's a Spawn issue as well that people are starting to talk about as of late. It's a great year for Mark Spears. I think this homage is done very well. I love how you see all these characters alongside the border of this. Just Mark Spears is crushing it. 2024, I think he's having a tremendous year.
Crushing it.
Look what's happening on the aftermarket right now. You have the celebration of creators and artists happening right now across the entire board. We have the first work of Jim Lee going nuts. We got the first work of J. Scott Campbell going nuts. We got the original work by artists, direct releases like Mark Spears, just doing absolutely insane. $709 is crazy, and it's just an amazing price for basically a Kickstarter book. It's incredible. This is an incredible time to be a collector, and it's so cool to see fans come out and throw down those dollars for some of these books.
Agreed.
Yeah, you might as well, if these aren't on your pull list, you might as well add them on there, and you get every variant just to be on the safe side. I'm not telling you to do that. Don't do that. I'm just saying.
Do that. I say do it.
No, don't do that. Don't say. Well, Marty told. No. I'm trying
Marty
to.
said to do it, guys. Marty said, so you have to do it now. So
because if you notice the trend on it, right? At first it was the Bride of Frankenstein that was very popular, and it stayed popular for quite some time. Once that became hard to get, then people then moved on to the monster editions and the other variants. And so I believe all of the variants became sought out after. So what I'm saying is that, if you're a collector of this and you love that, and if you're deciding to take a chance or forecast anything on this, you can't go wrong for either one you get. That's what I'm saying, because at some point, his artwork is just amazing. I mean, look at it. So realistic, really great detail to it. I mean, I love his work. So once again, Mark Spears, I think you hit the nail on the head, Lando. He's definitely having a great year. And you can see why he's having a great year.
But if you take Marty's advice to pre-order all the amazing covers by Mark Spears, let me tell you, each issue comes with phenomenal covers. Best of luck. Rest in peace to your wallet.
All right.
No.
That was Mark Spears Monster Kickstarter edition number 1. This is from Marvel 25th anniversary homage from Frankenstein Spears Comics 2024 with a raw sale, guys. Raw. $709. It's insane. Oof. Well done, Mark. Here we go. What do we have next?
Oh, look at this. Okay, number 6 brings you Marvel Comics number 335. This is a Marvel UK from 1979. Okay, now what exactly was Marvel Comics? Unlike the typical comic books you might be familiar with, Marvel Comics was a distinctive UK imprint that debuted in 1979. Published in a magazine format, this periodically was Marvel's strategic effort to tap into and expand their overseas market. The series consisted of reprinted stories commencing with issue number 300 and culminating with issue number 352. Before you embark on a quest to track down these publications, however, it's important to note that magazine format books often suffered from poor preservation due to lower quality of paper used. Consequently, these magazines have yet to achieve a fair market value exceeding $15, which means collectors don't typically seek them out. However, among the reprinted stories, some edition featured original content, and this week's highlighted issue showcases a significant milestone: the first solo mission of one of Marvel's most iconic superheroes, Wolverine. In the United States, Marvel published Wolverine's first solo adventure in X-Men number 133, alongside a short story featuring Wolverine and Hercules in Marvel Treasury Edition number 260 in 1980. This situation inevitably sparked an ongoing debate among fans regarding whether this qualifies as Wolverine's first appearance. Considering that Marvel Comics is classified as a magazine rather than a traditional comic book, ultimately, the answer may depend on individual collectors' perspectives. For now, it's worth noting that this book has reached an all-time high sale price of $450 in raw condition, making it a worthy addition and adding fuel to the fire. And that is a very interesting,
Wow.
because, you know, could this possibly be the first appearance? Now, I don't know. I'm going to go with no. I think because, you know, there's such a niche to this type of collecting that, you know, especially for completists, right? A lot of completists
Like
want to go,
foreign collecting?
for any type of collecting, you know?
Oh, hold on.
Because
You're
think
talking
about it.
this appearance of Wolverine, right?
You're right. Exactly.
And this being a magazine as opposed to a comic.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Hmm.
look, I get it. I don't even want to start the Hulk 180 181 debate, but for myself, yeah, it's whatever you believe of the two to be the first 180. But yeah, I did that.
I just think it's just because there's, you know, someone's that's a collector who might be a completist, or might be, you know, just trying to go down the rabbit hole with collecting whatever he can find of a Wolverine or a certain thing. It's a niche type of collecting. That's what it is. And
Yeah.
if once again, if that's, you know, what it's worth to someone that really wants it, then there you go. That's the price he loves for it, you know?
Yeah, that's fair.
Agreed. All right, so we have Marvel Comic 335 from Marvel UK 1979, a raw sale coming in at $452. What do we have for the next one?
So
Oh, yeah.
before I go to the next one, let's talk about
Oh.
what you guys should do. We're at that's number 7, number 8. Here's what I want. I want everybody to go take that mouse, or if you're on your phone, move your finger over. I want you to hit that bell icon like this image right here. You got that, Laura?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you see, can you put that up?
No.
The one I'm presenting? Hit that
That was
bell
good.
icon just like this right here. I want you to hit that bell icon like Mike Tyson is slapping this, the Jake Paul. Just an hour ago, this happened, and we already got it here. This is the weigh-in, happened an hour ago. This fight is tomorrow night. I can't wait, but let me tell you something. You could be that bell icon. You could be that person hitting that bell icon, and I want you to smash it. And I want you to leave a comment down below and hit subscribe, because, hey, we're doing this just for the love of it. None of us are getting anything from this other than being able to hang out with you and hang out with each other and talk comics. So hit that bell icon, smash the like, subscribe so you know when we're going live, and absolutely leave a comment down below as to what your favorite cover was.
Yeah.
As far as number 7.
Go ahead.
Number 7, we got Primal Rage.
Yeah.
Number 1 by Sirius Entertainment, 1996. This is old school. Well, by old school, we mean 90s, right? Back in the day, bathed in neon light, teal carpet, Gushers candies, smoky arcades, and pump up Reeboks. Primal Rage made its debut. Fans were immediately stricken by the 2D fighting game, and it was quickly ported over to numerous consoles that never quite lived up to the original arcade version due to some porting issues that have to do with programming and the strength of consoles at the time. Toys, books, and comics in the Primal Rage format followed, which is where this title comes in. Fans were already clamoring for a second outing, and they turned to this comic to get a sneak preview of what was to come. Unfortunately, Primal Rage 2 was never released through typical channels, so this book serves as a reminder of what could have been. This is the only book with a full-color interior delving a spectacle of ultra violence, while the other issues were in black and white. It holds a special place in the hearts of many, with one fan recently securing a CGC 9.8 copy of one of only 14 on the census for $125. That's a respectable $60 jump from the previous high sale of $65 earlier this year. Raw copies appear to follow the same trajectory, albeit a little more ebb and flow. Rumors have been swirling that this IP is ready for an adaptation, especially with the increased attention in monster movies. Nothing concrete currently exists, but that didn't stop one fan from going Primal Rage and making the classic theirs.
I got nothing. I don't know anything about this. at all.
I'm going to divert to Lando on this bad boy right here.
Yeah,
Guys,
nothing.
I got absolutely nothing except the actual book itself. Look at that.
Oh!
Wait, hold on.
So,
Show us again.
so,
There we
so,
go.
so, I
Wow.
I want to talk a few things. Hyper, I saw you in the chat. Yes, I picked this up for $5 Canadian. I just want to show you guys because it's funny. It does say that there's an exclusive preview of Primal Rage 2, the video game, in it, but unfortunately, it never came to be. And inside the book, you get to see what the characters were going to be as well. So I think it's neat to have if you were a fan of the game. One of my favorite characters was Blizzard, who is the main character, this big ape-looking guy. But yeah, dude, it's absolute classic video game. It's unfortunate that issue number 2, the video game of Primal Rage 2 never came to be. But yeah, I really hope.
Of course you have it. Of course you do.
Of
Yeah,
course.
It's a side. So Marty and Laura, this is for you guys, okay? Imagine Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat, but with dinosaurs and a Yeti, right? That's what Primal Rage was. It was like Street Fighter with dinosaurs and monsters, right? And this game was wild. Midway and
Matt
Atari.
played it too. He knows this.
Yeah, Primal Rage. This game was awesome.
Primal Rage.
Fuck yeah. He knows.
Yeah.
I love you.
That's
I
right.
love you.
Nobody else knew.
You know what? When you're done, that's what we're doing. We're freaking playing video games tonight.
There you go.
For the
There you
win.
go.
Date night, break out the old Sega CD and play Primal Rage. My goodness.
Oh my God. Yeah, Raspberry Pi with all the
I'm in. Yeah, he has the Raspberry Pi.
No, he planned
Yeah.
this like 3 days ago. I know he
Oh,
did.
dude, well, I did
Don't-
that Altered
don't
Beast
admit the
homage,
pirating,
and she goes,
Art.
what game is that?
Sorry?
So we did the Altered Beast homage, and she's like, "What's Altered Beast?" I'm like,
Altered Beast.
"Oh,
Never heard of it.
Killing
I'm gonna
killing
queue
I
it up
remember
right
that
now.
game.
Okay, love you.
Try that.
The great now the game itself was not great.
Oh, it was fun though. It was
It was
fun.
like you know, trying to get the dinosaur, you see the tail go through the other character, and it's not a hit. Didn't get the hitbox. But hey, you know what? Primal Rage. It's as a '90s child, I'm there for it. It's good.
Hell yeah. Laura,
Sorry, I was
it not
eating.
that
Sorry.
good?
That was good. He made like a
That's good.
teriyaki. Primal Rage, number 1. Serious Entertainment, 1996. A 9.8 coming in at $125. Okay, this is more my style.
Well, it's
Ooh.
also mine.
Ooh.
It's a video game. So yeah, let's go. Let's go. Street Fighter.
Let's
Prime.
go.
Issue number 0. Ikpot. Udon online cover X2. Shadow Bride. Limited to 250. This is only coming out in 2025, guys. But needless to say, it's crazy to think that Street Fighter debuted in arcades in 1987. What started as a simple fighting game has now become one of the highest grossing video game franchises of all time. In fact, Street Fighter 2 is one of the best-selling Japanese-made arcade games in history, sitting at number 3, just behind the classics Space Invaders and Pac-Man. The property quickly crossed over into other mediums, including comic books, in 1993 with Street Fighter number 1. 30 years later, Udon Entertainment is keeping things fresh by launching a new prelude book, setting the stage for all the new storylines hitting stands in 2025. The synopsis even mentions a potential new threat known only as Vortex. In celebration of this launch, Udon has released several variants. However, none are as desirable as the Shadow Bride Chun-Li. There are reports that this book sold out in under 25 minutes after its release.
Whew.
This is a testament to the loyalty of Street Fighter and Ikpot fans alike.
And
Okay, let's go to big girls for 200.
Okay, the answer there, skinny women can do this for you. Doug.
What is not a damn thing?
Yeah, you damn right. You damn right. What's that thing? You damn right. Yeah.
My man Doug speaking facts. Yes. Yes, but the Scolding Hot variant hasn't even been released yet. It's set to be distributed in January 2025, but the aftermarket pre-sales for this book are already going off the charts. The latest all-time high sale for this book sits at $170. Like most Udon exclusives, these books usually sell out quickly and skyrocket in value. Street Fighter fans might have a hard time finding a copy of the voluptuous Vixen cover as sales continue to indicate increasing values. My oh my. I said something about a cover earlier before, but I think this wins it. I won't repeat it. But yes, this is a gorgeous cover. The fact it's sold out in 25 minutes actually doesn't surprise me. These limited, especially Street Fighter, Udon, like we were just saying, there is a crazy market for this. People will buy this up immediately. And as you saw, it got bought up very quickly. The book's not even out yet, guys. And raw copies are selling at $170. I only imagine it's going to continue to creep. Once we start to see these actually in people's hands, what is it going to hit? Are we going to see 9/8s go for God knows what? Double at least? I think so.
Man, I'm gonna say that I don't think it has anything to do with Street Fighter,
No.
and more to do with the artwork alone. As I look at this
it'll
book,
fall,
right?
Marty?
What's that?
I think it's gonna fall. This is Udon has a minimum if you're doing a variant of 1,000 minimum. So I think this will fall if you're patient.
Okay, yeah, I think eventually too, but covers like this, remember, are niche sort of collectors. And when people get a hold of these, two type of people collect this: a flipper and somebody that loves this type of artwork, right?
Yep.
And wants to kind of collects like this. And so you're going to get the flipper try to sell his book as quickly as he can when it hits initially, right? Because the fear is that the book will go down if you don't sell initially, right? For a period of time. So, but and I've seen on eBay covers like this, even more risque covers like this, sitting there for periods of time because they're selling too late. So once again, this is one of these covers that if you have it to flip right away. You know, don't sit on it. If you just have it to collect as if you're a buyer because you love this artwork, then, you know, of course, more power to you. You collect what you love, right?
Yeah, I don't see this Raw going under $100, even in time. We'll see. But I think it's going to hold relatively well. It's gotten a lot of hype already. It's not even out yet at 170. I do agree. A dip is always bound to happen. It's going to come. And you can always pick it up, like you said, Marty, on the low. How long is it going to take? We'll see. Because there was a lot of hype this week about it. So I'm curious to see how long that takes.
Chris?
I don't know anything about Udon Comics. I had to look them up while you were doing your read, Lando, and I guess they're a Canadian-based company who does translations of manga and releases them here in the North American market. Here's what I'll say. Street Fighter's been around for 37 years, right? 1987 is when the first Street Fighter game came out. This is an established intellectual property that is only going to see more and more attention. And Street Fighter #1 comic from 1993 is still $10. So if you're going to ask me where I'm going to put my money, either $170 for this limited copy that may or may not be actually limited to 250, like Laura said.
Yeah.
Or go get myself a 9.8 Street Fighter #1 from 1993.
Yeah, I'm going 93.
I'm gonna go get the original Street Fighter #1. Yeah. So that's kind of where I'm at.
All right. So let's see. We have Street Fighter Prime #0, Inkpot, Shadow Bride variant, cover X2, Udon Online, limited to 250, Udon Comics from 2025. Hasn't come out yet. Raw 170. We only have 2 left, and the night's over.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. It's just getting started.
All right.
Okay, here we go. Yeah, let's do this.
This right here. This is some time travel shit here, right? As we say, number 9 brings you Teenage Romances #34, published by St. John in 1953. Clarence Matt Baker, 1921 through 1959, continues to be one of the most sought after comic book artists when it comes to Golden Age comic books. He was best known for his ability to draw the female form, with his most famous character being Phantom Lady. But his first professional assignment, when hired by SM Jerry Iger Studios in 1944, was to work as a penciler and the inker on the 12-page Sheena, Queen of the Jungle story in Fiction's House Jumble Comics #69. Baker ultimately went on to do work through Iger Studios for Fox Comics, Quality Comics, Fiction House, and St. John Publications. He also contributed cover art to numerous other titles, including Teenage Romances, a comic book series that followed Amour and Angst of Young Love. Each comic was a selection of one-shot stories involving a revolving cast of characters and ran for 45 issues from 1949 through 1955. One of the more popular issues is #34, which features a buxom redhead threatening another girl if she tattles on her private parties for the local teens. This fabulous Baker cover hit an all-time high this past week with the CGC 6.0 topping at $4,000. The desire for Matt Baker covers just keeps rolling in comic market with no letdown in sight. Wow. These buxom blondes. You gotta love them, right?
Yummy.
The only thing I can really say is, and thank you for correcting me out in the chat. There's a niche sort of collecting to these, right? Yeah. And so I mean, this is worth whatever it's worth to somebody that loves this. It could be nostalgic for them. It could be someone that's trying to be a completist, or just the love of the collection.
So a lot of people will go out of their way to avoid the romance books. I always pick them up. And I pick them up because you never know exactly what you're going to get.
Yeah,
There,
absolutely.
if you're familiar with the famous artist Roy Lichtenstein and his Crying Girl art, the pop art Crying Girl, that was inspired by one of these romance books that were marketed towards female collectors. Secret Hearts number 88, and I actually found one of those for like pennies practically, and it was a very easy flip online. I always pick up these old romance books. I think they're hilarious. I think they're really cool. You have a lot of artists that just get started in these things, and you can always find them because collectors skip them. I don't know why, but hey, if any 10-cent or 12-cent cover, if I'm finding them in long boxes, I'm getting them.
Oh, for sure.
Why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't
Absolutely.
you?
You can find these things at flea markets. You can go to these old antique stores. You can even go to thrift stores and find these old things and just floating around like this,
Yeah.
But they're really beginning to get harder and harder to find at thrift stores as I used to go around. Those are the places I would always go to look for rare books and books that people typically overlook, right? And I'd find many of these type of books in there. And so, but people are really starting to catch on to the pricing, especially thrift stores and stuff like that, and they're catching on, and they're starting to see what these books go for.
Now, I'm going to defend myself, Laura, against your passive-aggressive attacks there with the chat. Yes, I like the romance. I'm a romantic. I'm a hopeless romantic. Give me a good romance story over booby covers any day of the week. I'm going on record.
Guys,
I like that.
Very quickly, when it comes to Matt Baker, sadly, he passed away relatively young, but the Phantom Lady books are clearly the favorites, right? When it comes to his artwork, do you see similarities of like Dave Stevens when you look at his stuff?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. That was a very typical style. Remember, this is coming from the 1950s, right? Because so you see this type of style play out throughout the years until then in the 60s we start seeing a more different sort of style come out too, in what artists would duplicate. So you see very light similarities. Modern age comics, you see so many different types of variation of different artworks and different covers and different styles from different artists. Back then they tried to keep a little bit to the social norms, if you will, of how to present it to the audience. Remember, because the cover sold then, right? That's the first thing that popped out to you. And one of the reasons why they used such bright colors back then with the reds and yellows and blues, it was that first thing that caught your attention. So there you go.
We have the best chat.
Everybody's a romantic little man here.
Best chat.
It was good. That was a good discussion on the side. Teenage Romance is number 34. St. John, 1953. A 6.0 coming in at a little over $4,000. Last but not least.
Speaking of romance, we have X-Men Origins Deadpool number 1 by Marvel Comics in 2010. Deadpool versus Wolverine have been a tremendous success for Marvel Studios this year, and the after effects have been felt in the comic book world as well. Well, Wolverine has had numerous book increases in demand and a frequent shaker on the shakers list. Since the film's release, Deadpool hasn't really seen the same level of interest in his books. Sure, his first appearance, New Mutants number 98, has definitely spiked, but there haven't been that many other key Deadpool books that have seen a ton of growth lately. So it's refreshing to see one such book with a high sale this week. X-Men Origins line was 11 one-shot titles, each featuring a particular character from the X-Men universe. The Deadpool issue has consistently been a $15 to $20 book raw. But this week, we saw an all-time high of $300 for a CGC 9.8 copy. There are tons of early Deadpool books that appear to be undervalued currently, and it's really only a matter of time before collectors and the new fans of Deadpool begin picking up the remaining copies cheap. So if you get them, get them.
I'm looking on the market right now, and I'm seeing, that price for 9.8 going for about 300, and raw fetching average about $15 or so.
So buy it
15 to
raw,
20.
man. Buy it raw.
Yeah,
Yep.
I would say so, because I mean, you're remember, this is a modern too, and so people are going to want to go for a 9.8, because once again, and Lando, you mentioned it earlier, people have that whole idea, if it's a modern, it's a 9, if it's not a 9.8, it's nothing, right?
Marty,
But-
look, we got a super chat.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jabez.
What?
Thank you so much.
Thank
got
you, thank
one.
you.
Thank
Yes,
you. We
I guess-
appreciate it. Sorry, continue.
Guess we're doing something right, and it's awesome, really.
We never get those. That's great.
Right, that's amazing. I think that was our second one. I think we got one
Ever?
third.
Technically
Okay,
our
thank-
fourth. It's technically our
Yeah.
fourth.
The first one was supposed to be from my coffee, guys. It never happened. Just want you to all know that.
Go complain to Matt and John. They're the ones who actually own the channel.
True.
Yeah.
True. I don't know how I feel about this. A 9.8 for $300 just seems a little bit much.
It's
if
up
you can
there.
find it, if you can still find this out in the wild or buy it raw,
Yeah.
just buy it raw, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's up there.
Mm.
One thing you mentioned though is the fact that obviously Wolverine got the love post Deadpool Wolverine. Wolverine got love way before that, to be honest. But when it comes to Deadpool, yeah, we all think New Mutants 98, but there's so many good books out there. I'm shocked to this day. I understand because of the mass printing, especially in the 90s, but like X-Force 2 being his second appearance, you can still pick that up for like less than like $5, right? It's
Yeah.
There's so many copies available, but I don't know, like there's other key issues you can pick up. I always love coming across his first ongoing series, the first issue. There's a lot of good books, but this one here, CGC 98 at $300, like Marty said, you can find them in raw dogs for quite a deal, so I would hold out.
Hey, don't leave yet. Stick around. We're gonna see what's shaking. But this book is. I know that what you're saying, Laura, $300 seems like a lot, but back in 2010, were people really buying a lot of Deadpool? I mean, this is before even the movie got spoiled that it was going to happen, right?
Well, yeah.
I think there's a lot of these out there. If you dig enough and if you search the internet enough, you'll find one at a reasonable price where you won't be dropping hundreds of dollars for 9.8. That's my opinion, though.
Yeah, it's a great Mark Brooks cover, and I think somebody was a fan, and that's where they got it.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So last shaker was X-Men Origins Deadpool #1 from Marvel back in 2010, a 9.8 at $300. But like Chris said, don't go anywhere because now we're going to cover what's shaking. Chris, take over.
Yeah. Okay. So let me just expand this so it covers the whole window. Boom! Like magic.
This is my favorite part right here. We get to look at comic books here,
Mine too. I like
and
this
we get
too.
to see Chris's comics too,
Well,
So
so
I
we're not
like
going to
that.
do that. We're gonna focus on what's shaking today. I see no
Oh,
reason.
boo, boo.
So let's check this out. Okay,
Shut
so
your
this-
whole mouth.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a Timo saying, shut your mouth. He texted me the first time. I was like, what did you say to me? But it's like a normal thing for him. So. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, bring a little
so,
TiVo in once in a while,
Yeah.
Keep it coming, baby.
So this is Cover Price. This is the basically the sponsor of the show. You can get a free trial by signing up for Cover Price. You can track your comics and check your specs. Always good to do, but we are going to talk about our daily shakers. So we'll go down here, click on daily shakers. And this is what we got here. So
Yeah.
these are some pretty common entities on the daily
Yeah,
shakers list.
very
I'll
much.
be honest with you. These top ones are almost always within the top 20.
Yeah.
So let's go down a little bit more. This one, I don't think I've ever seen before. Taffy Comics. That's interesting. Look at that.
Yep.
6.0 sold for $2,600 for a 1945. That
Wow.
feels low to me. Doesn't that feel low to you?
Issue number 2. No, I think that's an average price right
For
there.
number 2, I would say, yeah, that's about
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, look at this though.
Yeah, go to number 1. See what we're looking at for number 1.
Yeah, but number 1, it isn't. So we had a 1.0 sell for last year for
1.0
just
though.
$75. But let's see here. Click on sales data. Let's actually look at some of the metrics. Looks like we don't expect a 1945 book to have a lot of sales, right? It looks like VG was kind of the highest, so $100. I don't know, this 1945, that seems like it's low to me. In my
Really,
opinion.
because I could see something like that fetching that, because one, you got a number 2, and I don't know, what was the grade on it? 6.0.
6.0.
Yep.
There you
It's
go.
pretty
Yeah.
high. It's pretty high for 1945.
It's high for a 1945, and it's definitely war era, so that's what it got. That's why I believe that's a fair price for it. I don't. It has no other anything else except for that it's from 1945 and it's a 6.0.
Yeah.
Check out this weird terror book. This is a pre-code, right? 1953 CGC 6.0, also for $2,090. Look at that cover. That's interesting.
That's cool. I like
Yeah,
that. I
that is
appreciate because
sick.
it's a
That's
black
sick
cover.
cover.
That's tougher to do. So I like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, very
absolutely. Let's keep on scrolling down. Take a look. Oh, here we go. This is that awesome Todd McFarlane Batman cover
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
he's like got his leg up underneath the cape to get that point up or something.
Yeah.
And let's see here. Here's an interesting one. Bone by Jeff Smith. Obviously a very rare gem.
Yeah.
And recently a raw sold for $1,200. That's incredible.
Yeah. There's a point in time in my collecting, a lot younger. I was always trying to get any type of number 1s because I was going for, eventually if something's gonna hit, at least a number 1's gonna hit, right? So I always kind of speculated on that. I mean, it works in some cases, some it didn't, but once again, that's what you're doing if you're trying to spec on something. So it's kind of hit or miss.
Here we have the very first appearance of the Legion of Monsters. I'm lucky enough to have this in my collection. That's what that little blue box with the number 1 there is. Means that it's in my collection. So this is a really cool book to see on here. But let's go up. Let's try to get out of the regular. Let's look at modern age only. And I want to look at high raws. And let's see what we got. So,
Terrifier.
Yeah, there's Terrifier for $610. There's Blood Hunt for $500.
Yo, that
This is the Whatnot one, though.
dude, that
Right.
Delotto on the far right.
Yeah, look at that.
Yes, that's the vampire one, I believe, too,
Yo,
right?
It
And
is.
that one, it's a sick cover. I had an opportunity to get that at one time, and I blew it. I let
It doesn't
someone
look
else
like
have
Del
it. Man.
Auto to me at all. Like that doesn't look
Right?
like his style.
Bring it up. Like pop it up. You're gonna see. So the book is relatively scarce. It's hard to come across. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they came out with a reprint, like a foil or whatever. But this particular issue is not easy to find. It comes at a premium. Look at that, $450.
Yeah,
Exactly.
even the 175 is really hard to find too.
Yeah, look at the 9.8, man, 1,434.
It's
Yep.
crazy.
Yeah.
So
Beautiful cover, though.
because our dear friend of the show, Rudy, asked, he's asking in the chat, hey, when I make changes to my collection, how do I update my inventory? So primarily what I do
Good question.
when I buy a collection, right? The first thing I do when I buy a collection is figure out what I want to keep for my personal collection and what I want to sell, right? And I have two outputs for my sales of comics. I don't need to get into that here, but one of them is for under $5 and one of them is for over $5. And then the things that I keep in my personal collection, I add to my inventory. So really, if I just take, we can take this one, for example. Recently, I picked up a collection. It had this Green Lantern annual, and it's signed by both Ron Mars and John Lowe. So this is a pretty cool thing. So we'll just go up here. We'll go to Green Lantern annual, and I don't think it's number one. But it's 1997. So I'm going to go here because that's the 92 to 2000 range. I will go to 1997. Boom, right there. Okay, so now we've got the comic up after it loads, right? So I'm going to add this to my collection. And when I add it to my collection, I'm going to go down here. And because it's signed, I'm going to click more. I'm going to click autographed, yes. And then in the notes section, and I'll do it later so you don't have to see me typing, I'm going to put who it's signed by. So that's the way that I track my personal collection. And then it goes into my file bins that are off camera. Now, if I have something in my collection and I sell it for my personal collection, I will go to my collection. I will search for that item in my collection. And let's say that I sold this 1968, number 63. I can remove it from my collection just by clicking the edit button, and then I can do mark as sold right there. When I mark it as sold, I can say when I sold it and how much I sold it for. And then there are even advanced things like additional expenses, sales fees, transaction information, if I really want to keep track of all that stuff. Now, I primarily use Cover Price to track my personal collection, but I use Cover Price to grade, to value every book that I get in my collection. And the reason why I do that is because I can simply separate it between the under $5 store, the over $5 store, or if it's a key that I didn't know was a key, I'll add it to my personal collection. So there we go. I hope that answers your question, Rudy. And that's a great question. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Hi, Laura.
Anything else to add before we call?
No, I think you did a great job. I think you're very thorough. You covered it, brother. Good job, man.
All right, that was it for tonight. Roundtable. We'll start with Lando since Chris just talked. Lando.
Do you guys understand why Thursdays is my favorite? You just saw why. Guys, another great show with the three of you. The chat, always rocking. You guys were on fire tonight. Like you were hitting us with jokes. You were catching some of the references. It was one of the best shows I've ever had with you guys. But I want to say thank you all for tuning in. If you're catching the replay, please comment below. If you are new to the channel, subscribe. Hit subscribe. We'll be back. The crew is always going live. Cover Price goes live tomorrow. Laura, Marty, we'll be back with Gabe on Tuesday. And myself and Chris are back next Thursday. So please subscribe.
That's right. Hey, and Lando, I want to talk AI art so bad. Laura and Marty, I was just itching to be on Tuesday's show while you guys were talking about that AI stuff.
Whole other show though, like that's like an hour of content by itself.
But I mean, I'm really entrenched in it. We got to talk more about that kind of stuff. Hey guys in the chat, what would you think of a separate show without risking the Cover Price property that was like Long Box Unplugged, right? Lords of the Long Box Unplugged.
Brian's in right now. Beyond Wednesdays is in right now. Sorry,
yeah, bro,
Brian.
the homie.
Hi.
What's up, bro?
Yeah. So we do it unplugged. We talk off the cuff, no scripts, no restrictions.
Do it.
Yeah, I mean, I love this show and I love the stuff that Cover Price gives us. But there are some things that, we all kind of keep to ourselves a little bit just to protect Cover Price because we respect them so much. But yeah, hey, if you guys want to see a Lords of the Long Box Unplugged, drop it in the chat on the rewind. And Laura, I want you to look at my finger Okay,
Yeah.
right there, and maybe touch your nose.
Matthew Waite's in now too, and Matthew Waite and Brian are both in right now. Sorry, I can't focus.
Yeah,
There's,
okay,
like-
Matthew Waite, I want you to know I went to your store this week and I bought 2 copies of that Tyson Jake Paul cover you just did.
Yeah, it's wicked, dude.
It's very cool.
Yeah. But hey, I love hanging out with you guys. It's one of the highlights of my week. I absolutely adore being on the Shaker Shore and being one of the Lords of the Long Box. So thank you so much, Marty.
You never invite me on, like ever. Just saying, throwing you out there right now, ever.
Who?
Brian, Beyond Wednesdays. He
I
never invites me.
so I
That was
actually
random. That's okay. That was so random.
Well, no, because he's in right now. He's here right now, so I'm like, I'm gonna call
She
him
is
out.
really miffed about this, Brandon. You better watch out.
Obviously.
She
Obviously.
tackle you at a
actually-
convention.
I feel bad because I'm in a group chat with Brian, and like he always drops the link to join the shows, but I'm always out on Saturday nights. But I
I'm not in
tune
that
in.
chat.
I
What
tune
chat
in
is it?
on the tail. Oh, Laura, we didn't tell you about that shit, Brian. I'm sorry, bro.
Wow. Okay, so there's a chat that I'm not in too. Great. Even
Yep.
better.
Sorry, no.
Anyway,
love it.
Marty,
I love it.
last words.
Oh man, you guys covered it, but thank you to the guy YouTubeites, another one of TiVo's saying, right? And we try to bring a little bit of TiVo into this because this was his baby along with Cover Price, and we definitely miss him. And so we pay honor to him when we do this, and we pay honor to you guys for joining us and being part of the show and just having fun with us, because this is part of the weeks, that we get to talk comic books. And luckily, I get to do it twice a week because I want to do it twice a week because I really enjoy this. I really enjoy coming out, talking comics, being with Laura, Lando, Chris, Gabe, on Tuesdays nights. And it's just fun doing this. And I hope you guys get as much out of this as we do, especially with your collecting. I learned tonight too what books to put on my watch list, especially that Capullo. Right, that's going on my watch list. That's a first Capullo. Yeah, I'm gonna research a little bit more on that bad boy too. But nevertheless, may the comic gods and TiVo continue to breast you and and make your long box full and happy.
Yeah.
Excelsior. Did you like that? You liked how I did that?
Excelsior.
So like a
For the entire crew, this is Tebow saying keep digging in them long boxes. Peace out.